It seems like everyone is obsessing over ranking at the top of Google. Meanwhile, hundreds of people have told me that they found me on ChatGPT. Oh, thanks, Chatty. I have no idea why, and it's about time I got to the bottom of this. Hey, I'm Alex, expert copywriter, award-winning marketer, and the host of this channel where I teach over 400,000 rad humans on the internet how to turn their words into income. And the question I am on the hunt to answer is this: how on earth do I get AI to recommend me to my clients and customers? If that question has been on your mind too, you are in the right place, my friends. And listen, I'll be honest, SEO has been kind of an afterthought for me, but over the last few months, I've been spending more and more time digging into my metrics, learning from the pros, and rolling out new SEO strategies in my business. And what I've discovered has been very interesting, including a massive mistake I found buried in my website code that was stopping AI from recommending me and finding me. Yeah, I am still figuring all of this out, but I wanted to take you along for the ride and share with you what I've learned so far in case you find it helpful too. So if you're a copywriter, a marketer, a business owner, a content creator, or service provider, this will be very helpful for you because learning this now won't only help your clients and customers find you, but it could also make you incredibly valuable to your clients if you offer this as a service. So let's get into it. In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 stupidly simple steps that increase your chances of getting AI to recommend you. Yes, even if you're brand new in business or haven't focused much on SEO before. But first, the question on everyone's mind: is SEO dead? Despite what thousands of videos and social posts and articles would have you believe, no, SEO is absolutely not dead. Even Google itself has said that traditional SEO best practices remain foundational to appearing in its generative AI search features. For the last 20 some odd years, ranking on Google has been every business's goal when it comes to organic search traffic. And don't get me wrong, that is still a great goal to have, but the game is changing because now customers aren't just browsing search engine results. They are asking AI directly. And even if they do ask Google the exact same question that they're asking these AI tools, the result they get is no longer just a long list of websites. It is first an AI answer that appears right there at the top of Google, also known as position zero or zero-click search results, which means yes, AI is now stealing our clicks. But of course, if you are the business mentioned in that answer or recommended by the AI tools that your customers use, it could mean everything for your business. And this is where answer engine optimization, or AEO, comes in. So what is AEO exactly? Well, my good friend Matt Diamante, SEO expert and founder of Hey Tony SEO agency, recently gave an epic training to my mastermind members, and I love what he said. AEO is just SEO with a new coat of paint. While traditional SEO is largely about helping search engines discover, understand, and rank your content, AEO, also known as GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, because yeah, that's what the internet needs, is more TLA's 3-letter acronyms. It is all about increasing the likelihood that an AI-powered answer engine can find you, understand what you do, trust you, and ultimately cite or recommend you in its answer to your client or customer, which, yes, does sound a lot like traditional SEO, but ranking high on Google and getting mentioned by AI aren't necessarily based on the exact same factors. One recent study examined more than 250,000 citation decisions across 6 large language models and found that topical relevance was among the strongest factors determining which source AI cited first, along with other factors such as recency, data, and other trust signals. So with SEO, we've really been trained to think in keywords, like what are the exact keywords that our customers are searching for? But with AEO, we need to ask, what questions are our ideal customers asking? And if you follow these 4 simple steps, you can start creating content that makes it so much easier for AI to connect you with those questions that you want to be recommended for. And by the way, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to walk you through a really simple AEO audit that you can run in just a few minutes to find the lowest hanging fruit for content optimization in your business. All right, step number 1, find the questions. Remember, you are not just trying to rank high in the search results. Yes, traditional SEO is still important, but you're really trying to show up in the specific conversations that happen right before someone makes a buying decision. Like, hey there, buy from me. So think about your customer's buying journey and their biggest objections. Ask yourself, what would someone ask ChatGPT before they knew they needed you? What would they ask as they researched their options? What would they ask when comparing you to maybe a competitor? So let's say you or your client is an accounting firm that specializes in helping small businesses with tax planning. So a broad question might be something like, what does a small business accountant do? Okay, it's not bad, but it's also not the most valuable question to optimize for because it doesn't really show any buyer intent. Now, compare that to questions like, do I need an accountant or bookkeeper for my small business? How much should I pay a small business for accounting? What's the best accountant for a business making under $1 million a year? So can you see how those questions are so much more likely to be asked by someone who is ready to buy? And that is where you want to show up. Now, here are some really good ways to identify these questions. Run your topic through findquestions.com, answer the public or also asked to see real phrased customer questions. Next, you can check the People Also Ask section after a Google search right there in the search results. You can also search Reddit and other niche forums for how real people phrase their problem. Or better yet, you could simply ask ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Perplexity what questions they get asked the most about a specific topic. But here is the problem. Knowing the right questions to target doesn't automatically mean that AI will pick you as the answer, right? You could still target like the perfect question and then still lose to a competitor with worse content simply because they made it easier for AI to read and understand. So once you know the questions you want to answer, you need to win the next battle, which is step number 2, become the clear answer. You need to give AI an answer that is worth recommending, and this is where your content becomes incredibly important. Now, the goal here is not to create more generic content or AI slop, because AI can recognize AI garbage. So the goal is to create content that provides the best possible answer to the questions that really matter. You don't just want to write a blog post that simply answers the question like Q&A. You want to write the blog post, the best blog post on that topic that breaks it down clearly. It needs to be easy for AI to scan and to understand the answer. That means it needs clarity, it needs structure, it needs specificity, and all of these things matter across your entire website. A homepage headline that says, "Unlock what's possible," which is obviously AI, tells AI nothing valuable. What do you sell? What do you do? What results do you help your customers get? If you want answer engines to understand that, say, you're a conversion copywriter specializing in SaaS, then you need to say that. It doesn't mean you don't take on other clients, but be specific because clarity wins every single time. So once you've written the clearest answer on the internet in the form of a well-structured blog post, what now? Well, as it turns out, AI doesn't just trust what you say about yourself. It's looking for third-party proof. And that brings me to step number 3, build authority. Okay, so let's pretend for a hot minute that I own a pizza restaurant. It's Gatoni's Pizzeria. And you come to me and you ask, Alex, where's the best pizza in Vancouver? And I mean, I would kind of have to say, well, it's my restaurant, duh. But unfortunately, that's not exactly compelling evidence if that is in fact the best pizza in town. But what if someone you know recommends me? What if the Vancouver Sun, a local newspaper, recommends me? What if I have thousands of 5-star customer reviews? Or maybe food bloggers have given me the thumbs up? Or Reddit users constantly tell tourists who come to my pizzeria? Or local publications include me in their best pizza in town lists? And on top of that, my restaurant's own website clearly confirms everything you need to know about where we're located, what kind of pizza we serve, how long we've been doing it, and how much people love it. Now, this matters because AI recommendations aren't necessarily built exclusively from what you say on your website alone. These systems can gather information about you and brands from things like reviews and articles and forums and directories and news coverage and social media accounts, and the list goes on, which means that AEO isn't just a content strategy. It's also a PR and authority strategy. So your goal is to create a consistent footprint of authority across as many different touch points as possible on the internet that all say the same thing. This is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I'm known for, and I am not the only one saying it. So ask yourself, how can I get credible sources to talk about me in the context that I want to own, right? How can you incentivize your best customers to leave you Google reviews? How can you partner with any other related brands or companies that are more established? How can you get featured on podcasts and other social media profiles? And how can you show up in more places than just your own website? And by the way, your own social media profiles like LinkedIn and even Instagram are now indexed by Google, and those domains have great domain authority at 99 and 94 respectively, which means those are great places to post authority content. So don't just post on your own website. Make sure you are posting across social media as well. And you can even add some of your social profiles to your Google Search Console to track performance in the search engines, which is kind of cool. You never could do that before. That's a recent feature in Google Search Console. These are the things that you want to start thinking about, okay? Now, think about them now because this is a long-term strategy, but it is cumulative. Every little piece of content you create that reinforces what we talked about will only create a better, bigger, more consistent footprint of authority across the internet. So start now and expect results to get better over time. But before we wrap up, there is still one very big problem with everything we've talked about so far, okay? You can create the greatest content in the world. You can get other people talking about you. You can answer every single important question that your dream customers and clients are asking right now. But none of that matters if the answer engines can't actually access the information. Yeah. And that brings us to step number 4, make sure you are findable. Okay, so this is where things just get like a touch bit more technical, but if I can figure this out, you guys can too, okay? The basic idea is pretty simple. AI cannot recommend information it can't find, which means your website needs to be crawlable and indexable. So for example, OpenAI has a crawler specifically used to read websites in ChatGPT search called OAI-Search Bot. And different AI companies have their own systems and crawlers, and website owners can choose whether or not to block these AI crawlers. But I mean, like, who would do that? Right? I mean, spending months trying to optimize your website for AI search and then telling ChatGPT's search crawler, no, you shall not pass, you shall not collect $200. That would be like super dumb, right? Yeah, because that's exactly what I was doing on my own website. Yeah. I even texted my SEO pal, Matt, who I mentioned earlier in this video, to make sure that I was actually seeing this right. So I texted him a screenshot and I said, yo, can I ask you an SEO question? Looking at my robots.txt file, does this mean I'm blocking AI from finding and recommending me? To which he said, possibly. Some of this is preventing AI from crawling your site. LOL. The LOL is a sign of a good friend. He was telling me what's up. But of course I read this and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? So, I mean, it was a miracle that AI was still recommending me. But when I dug into my search traffic deeper, I can see something definitely happened in June where my AI search traffic fell off a cliff. So yeah, that's cool. So long story short, it turns out that my site had always disallowed these crawlers as it was a default setting from my server. But then Google made an update on June 17th that essentially made it mandatory for these AI crawlers to respect the AI opt-out, which is a good thing. But it meant that people like me who had no freaking idea that this was even a thing stopped getting AI traffic like overnight. Luckily, we fixed it, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But this is absolutely something worth checking as part of your AEO audit. Because as complex as all of this AEO stuff can seem, if we zoom out a little and look at the big picture, the fundamentals are actually pretty dang simple. Your customers are now asking questions, and whoever becomes the most trusted answer to those questions wins. Period. Full stop. Assuming AI can actually find you. So here is a simple AEO audit that you can do on your website and content right now. Now let's start with your messaging. Is your website messaging crystal clear? Ask yourself, hold up your website. If I knew nothing about this business, could I answer these questions within literally a few seconds, a few minutes? What exactly do they sell? Who is it for? What category are they in? What are they especially good at? Where do they operate? What makes them different? What evidence supports their claims? And is anyone else saying that they're also good at this thing? And then, and this is really important, check whether those answers are consistent everywhere your brand appears on the internet. Because if your website says one thing, but then your LinkedIn says another, and you describe your company differently in every single interview or podcast or blog post you do, and your bio is updated, then now the internet has like 5 different versions of who you are and what you do, and you cannot expect AI to magically piece it all together or to know what's going on in your brain. Remember, it is looking for a clear, unified answer, so make it make sense. Everywhere you or your brand shows up online needs to echo and reflect the exact same brand messaging. And luckily, messaging is kind of what I teach around here, so if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe below to learn how to turn your words into income. And next up, you gotta make sure your website is actually findable by AI crawlers. So here's how you do this. Go to yourwebsite.com/robots.txt. Then you're gonna look for any lines of text that say disallow. And you especially want to look for that disallow next to any text that says GPT bot or OAI-search bot, that's for ChatGPT's crawler, or Claude bot, that's for Claude, or Perplexity bot, which of course is for Perplexity, and Google-extended, which is for Gemini and for AI overviews. That's what appears right there at the top of Google search results for that position 0 AI overview. Now, if any of those are blocked, that could be costing you major visibility. So again, I asked my friend Matt how to fix this, and he simply said, ask AI. Why didn't I think of that? Specifically, he said, paste that into Claude and say to write you a robots.txt file that allows traffic to your site. And that's exactly what we did to fix the issue, and we re-uploaded it to our server. Listen, I wish we had found this sooner, but I'm still learning over here, and I hope you are too. Give me a thumbs up below if you found this video helpful, and I will see you back here next week with a brand new video. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. Before you go, if you like that video, make sure to check out this one next. Okay, writers, listen up. We need to talk about AI, but not in the way you might be expecting. There seems to be 2 common views floating around the internet when it comes to AI and the future. There's the pessimistic view, gloom, doom, humans replaced,